You know that there are things you could be doing right now, important things, things that matter to you, but instead you find yourself stuck scrolling. 10 seconds turns into 10 minutes, then an hour, and suddenly your window of time to do the task is gone. And what follows? Shame, self-blame, the old story. Why can't I just do what I said I was going to do? I want you to know that this isn't a moral failure. This is your nervous system trying to protect you. So when you find yourself reaching for your phone instead of starting a task, that's a form of avoidance. But underneath that avoidance is a nervous system that's stuck in survival mode. Your brain is constantly scanning for danger from an evolutionary standpoint. And in a world wired for urgency, pressure, and judgment, even the smallest task starts to feel like a threat. Let me explain that though. When you're about to do something that matters to you, something that needs to get done, whether it's writing, replying to an email, prepping for a job interview, doing the dishes, showing up to a project, there's often a quiet voice in the back of your mind saying, what if I mess it up? What if it's not good enough? What if it proves that I can't do this? Your brain doesn't want to fail, and it doesn't want to feel judged. It doesn't want to feel that shame again. So what does it do? It looks for an escape hatch, something quick, familiar, and distracting. Enter in the scroll. You're not weak, you're just protecting yourself from pain in the only way you know how. And over time, you've learned that scrolling is an effective way to numb, disconnect, and delay the discomfort of facing that fear. So it's a pattern of self-protection, not some kind of discipline problem. That's why typical motivation advice won't work for you. But because we know that, we can work with that. But doom scrolling does give you something in the moment, because the truth is it does serve a purpose. It gives you novelty, your favorite dopamine hit. It gives you distance from the thing you're afraid of. It gives you the illusion of control, and it postpones perceived failure. Your brain doesn't just want a dopamine hit because it's shallow. It wants it because it's soothing. It feels better than sitting in the tension of uncertainty or discomfort or the fear of failure. But here's the catch. Every time you delay something meaningful in favor of that distraction, you reinforce the story that you can't handle effort without suffering. And so that story becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why motivation feels so fragile and out there, because your body doesn't trust that it's safe to try. If you're realizing that what looks like procrastination is actually self-protection, I want to share a free resource that can help you start building trust with yourself again. It's called the Self-Trust Scripts. It's a simple tool that you can use in those exact moments, when you're frozen, spiraling, or about to scroll. They're gentle, grounding statements meant to help you shift that inner dialogue from pressure and punishment to clarity and calm, a neutral position from which to choose your next decision. You'll find a link to download them in the description below. And if you've never tried interrupting the cycle with compassion, then this is a great place to start. Very low barrier to entry, because it's free. Most of us were never taught to feel safe with our desire, the things that really matter to us, the things that we want. We were taught that success comes from pressure, that productivity requires punishment, whether self-punishment or punishment inflicted by others. That if you're not suffering, you're slacking. So when you try to set a meaningful goal, you panic because you don't know how to move without a looming threat. That's why you freeze when it's time to begin. It's not that you don't want to do it, it's that you don't believe it's safe to do it. So until you rebuild that safety, until you start untangling your motivation from fear, you'll keep defaulting to avoidance, even when you consciously want to take action. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to learn a new way. So what do you actually do? Interrupt the story before the scroll. So create a 10-second pause intentionally where you're not doing anything. Ask, what am I trying to avoid? What do I actually need right now? Then offer yourself a small act of self-regulation. This could be grounding, breathing, or speaking a self-trust script. Just 30 seconds of reconnecting to yourself reminds you that you're in charge and that you're safe. Then redefine what counts as success. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to move gently toward what matters, with presence, not pressure. Then pair the task with something comforting. Light a candle, put on soft music. I love ambiance music, like the backtracking of some of my favorite movies, like this one, if anyone knows where this is from. Make your workspace inviting. Tell your brain this isn't punishment, it's safety. And then name the win, even if it's tiny. Celebrating effort reminds you of all the times you have followed through, and the world didn't end. especially if you've been bulldozing over them in the past. That's the foundation from which you strengthen your self-trust. If this helps you to see your patterns differently, if you're starting to understand that these behaviors of procrastination and doom scrolling aren't failures but signals, and you're ready to break that cycle for good because you know how painful it is, then I want to invite you to take the next step. I offer a personalized, research-backed program built for people just like you, because I'm like you. The ones who try so hard but self-sabotage every step of the way. The ones who know exactly what they want but won't let themselves get started. The ones who are exhausted by pressure and are hungry for peace. On a free discovery call, we'll unpack your patterns and your goals, and we'll see if this program is the right support you need for your transformation. So click the link in the description to book your call. No pressure, just an honest conversation. And whether you book or not, I hope you'll keep coming back to this space where your effort isn't judged but understood. You're not lazy, you're just learning a new way to relate to yourself. And I'm proud of you for taking that step, because it's terrifying to step away from what we know. I'll see you soon. And as always, stay in this corner of the internet as long as you need.